Yeah, and it is frustrating having Jota, so I'm not mad at that at all.
Not all the fans, only the ones that said that Emery was not it.
He was right to be sacked. It's nice that we're getting our assists from the right back, but hey, we don't need it. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're listening, whatever time you're watching, welcome back to another episode of Podcast Pundits. I am your host. Usually I go by many names, but today they need to keep it, civil, polite, professional. Call me Della Strada. As usual, I'm not here by myself. I'm here with my fellow pundits, starting from my left, Strives.
Yeah, man, what you saying, my boy? It's your boy Strives. You can call me Striver. I'm representing Arsenal Football Club.
Well, every single time you do that, you point to the...
Yeah, got to let the boys and the ladies know, man, where I'm at, man. So yeah, man, supporting Arsenal, representing Arsenal, Nigeria. Actually, no, I think I might even retire that, man. They drew Zimbabwe and they disappointed me. So yeah, I think I'm just going to retire my international fellowship of football team. So yeah, it's just Arsenal for now.
Yeah, but with Nigeria, with the recent draw, that means I think they've made it very, very difficult to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, but literally, I think they've got, is it Rwanda and then South Africa? They've got to beat both of them, and obviously South Africa's top of the group. South Africa's pretty much all but qualified. Yeah, Nigeria's in a bit of a sticky one, man.
A sticky one still. Next up, Jerry.
Yo, it's your boy Jerry Nomadic, aka Liverpool #1 supporter. Nothing new to report. I'm sure we're still top of the Premier League table. And obviously we're not in the Champions League no more. International is a waste of time. I'm just here to talk real football.
Lost one of your best players.
Who?
Allegedly.
Who, Gav?
Trent.
Oh, not yet.
He said nothing new to report.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Next up, Drayman.
Yeah, it's Drayman. As you all know, avid Man United fan. Yeah, still supporting the boys through thick and thin. And yeah, let's just crack on into the games.
Yeah, and lastly, this guy's been away for a while. He's been on annual leave. Next up, Molly Mo.
Hey guys, happy to be back, man. Yeah, I've been obviously on medical leave. Had to get my knees done. Let me do the freaky Zeke.
Bulgarian leg lift.
Honestly, bruv, yeah, got the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace or the Forrest Gump, however you want to call it. But yeah, man, happy to be here, happy to be alive, bruv. Happy to be walking, bruv.
Barely.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Before we get into there's some admin. You can find us on all major platforms: Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And you can interact with us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. So let's get into it. So internationals are over. Obviously, we're going to talk about quick FA Cup recap and look ahead into the Premiership. But before we go into the Premiership, the FA Cup games, what do you guys think about the fact that we had internationals, then we had a weekend dedicated to FA Cup, then you got midweek Premiership games? Anyone can speak. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised that they sandwiched the FA Cup games in, because I thought it was just going to go directly to Premier League games. And obviously when I realised that the Premier League games weren't this weekend, I was surprised when I saw the midweek games. I was like, what's going on here? But obviously I know that a lot of footballers and managers are complaining about the fixture pile-up. For a fan, it's great.
But is it great though? Is it just way too much? Because even the mere fact that it was after the internationals, because I was watching the Brighton and the Nottingham Forest game, that game was just boring.
Boring, innit? Yeah.
And I think they showed like the amount of players that travelled on international duty and the mileage that they've done. Then to have to go and play a game, whether it's FA Cup or the Prem,
what a beautiful life to live, man.
I'm talking about the fans now.
For the fans.
Spectating that where it's like these men are just...
And about this, it's a weekend, man. I wasn't expecting anything on, but it was nice to come home to see football. And obviously Nottingham Forest, I like watching them play as well. I also like watching Brighton, so it was decent, even though it was a dead game, man, but it was decent to come home to that, to be completely honest.
It is just too ram though, if we put it into context. It's too many games in short succession.
What, for you to consume or...
I just think for even for a footballer, even for like a top tier
it's not that.
You don't think it's a lot to consume?
No, I don't think it's a lot to consume because one, you don't have to watch all the games. Do you know what I mean? And then two, I feel like for the players as well, bro, like, again, it's people dream of being able to play these games, man. Like, I personally would love to be in that situation.
But it's not even just playing the games though. Like, think of the travel,
Yeah.
Think of like, you're going to a new manager, it's going to be like a different mindset, different orientation, different tactics.
It sounds like a beautiful life.
No, don't get me wrong.
Trying to see the negatives.
Yeah.
It's true. Obviously, like as a child, you dream about being a football player. You always think that. I always think if I was in that position, I don't know if I'd see it as a job. Like I think I would.
But you'll complain at some point.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I used to go and travel for work, it was nice traveling, but after a while, you're like,
100%.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just changes. So
the
amount of money that they have to do, then they have to come and play at a high level as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, 100%, when you're doing something, eventually it turns into a job because nobody likes having to travel when you don't want to.
Yeah.
But would they rather do a normal life?
Of course, they'd rather have that life.
So it's just something that when you're complaining about these things, it's always good to have. The words.
I know gratitude and but at the same time,
no, not even gratitude. Just like perspective.
One,
Just like look at it in the bigger picture. Is like at the end of the day, having to play all of those games is a sign of success in your season. So forget about being a footballer. That means you're at least doing well. You're doing something right as a football player, or your team is as well.
Well, the bodies can if you're working out, it's your human. It's gonna.
Yeah, that's why you don't have to play every game though. So like a lot of these.
If the manager plays you, then you can't say no, manager, I don't want to play today.
So you know what's crazy though? That I think some of the teams that they were talking about like Brighton having to do all of these miles and all that kind of stuff. How many games are like Brighton and Nottingham Forest going to play this season?
I heard that. I know it's more for like the top teams. Like you've got Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Premiership, but yeah,
it's weird. I can't imagine like because everyone complains, isn't it? Like I just remember. I look back and think of like 20 to 30. Well, that's a good time to travel and play football. Yeah, you do work. I understand the old guys like with 30 pluses, like, bruv, you play a game, bruv, and your bones are hurting afterwards. I get that part, but the young bulls.
But I think the recovery is important as well when you're playing that high end football. That's even if you speak to like this is just me from speaking to a couple of people that I knew that used to play at all right level.
What, do you want to name names?
No.
Even after a game, you speak to them and they're like, bro, I'm in bits.
Yeah. No, bro, even when I was playing, bro, like if I play on a Sunday in a midweek, I'm in bits as well. But you got this whole team at these clubs that are dedicated to your recovery.
Yeah.
So,
but you still need a lot more recovery time, though.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think some people have been floating the idea where there should be a minimum of like 3 days or 3.5 days in between games. Yeah, I get it, but really and truly, again, your Southamptons aren't complaining about this. Yeah, so true. You can't make rules for the 5%. You got to make rules for the whole thingy. So like, again, if it's too much for you.
Yeah. But I think it's obviously if you said it just for the 5%, but I think it just goes down to the unnecessary internationals, like the Nations League or all these extra competitions. To stick to the World Cup, the Euros, and your qualifiers.
Yeah, and that's where all the mileage is, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, just wanted to sort of talk about that. But let's get into it. So FA Cup roundup. First game, Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 3. So yeah, we've got a few Palace fans in the house. Not only Marley Marl, you got Jerry, Drayman. Do you do this part-time Palace shit as well?
No, I don't do part-time.
No, this is
obviously it's down the road from where I live. But
wait, hold on. Hang on. Part-time, bro.
Yeah. When you were away, obviously,
Is it not part-time?
You got challenged as the man of many club faces.
This is my second team, isn't it?
No.
Everyone does
This is not my second.
clubs.
So no, obviously, I'll go to non-league football, innit?
So, are you a part-time fan?
No, I'm not a part-time
you
Palace
just like
fan.
to watch it?
I like to go to watch live football, innit? So I can watch Bromley, Dulwich, whoever's local to me.
That's fair.
Okay, fair. So to the Palace fan in the room, what do you think about the performance?
It was good, man. It was good. It's good to see the Palace fans getting a bit of joy. I mean, you don't in the league they don't get much of that in it. So having a good cup run is pretty decent. They obviously didn't start the season particularly great, but they're coming towards the end of the season with in a bit of a good bit of form. I think they got 7 wins in 8 in the last 8 games, which is fantastic. Hopefully they can get to the final. Who they got in the next round?
Villa.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky because that's my third team. Yeah, through proxy.
Villa, you're right, man.
Obviously, my Brom people, innit? That's my proxy. The first football kit I actually got always given was an Aston Villa kit.
Yeah.
One of my uncles like, tried to give me.
So you should be a Villa fan, but you were a glory hunter and went to United.
So you have no reason to support United, really?
That's accurate. What do you want?
Yeah, I was
want to say that?
that's most Man United fans' history, but it's nice to see you admit it.
Yeah, no, Man United was my heart, and Aston Villa was my uncle's heart in it. So he gave me a Aston Villa kit for Christmas. Obviously, at the time, I was like, "Oh, Aston Villa, nah, that's not really the one in it."
Yeah,
they used to have Muller as a sponsor them times as well.
Yeah, old school things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Old school things. So now obviously look back at that. Obviously, I look at the pictures, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's my third team."
So when did you start supporting United?
Huh?
When did you start supporting United?
I would have been in primary school. Yeah, in primary school.
Do you know what your trigger was? What was your decision?
Yeah.
Eric Cantona.
100% collar.
Collar up swag with.
What about you, Trey, man?
Now, mine was because basically back in the day when I was at school, I think it was from primary actually, one of my best friends was actually from up north.
Okay.
So he was like, "Oh, do you fancy going to a Man United game with me?" And I was like, it was football. I was like, yeah. So I went with him and I was like, wow.
What does team man up? No parents.
So obviously the parents were there at the time.
Just
But
wanted to make sure.
when you're a kid.
You went up to Manchester?
Yeah,
That's
with
amazing.
his dad. Yeah, it was crazy.
He was
Sound
watching
like
that.
he was living a good life.
Yeah.
I was about to say, boy.
We went to Millwall and we got chased.
Man, we only go Millwall play scheme as well.
Yeah, bro. They used to come and give us free tickets in primary school.
Yeah, man. And it'd be a mission to get the permission slip signed from my parents, man. Because Millwall was
Yeah, definitely forged the signature to go with.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I ended up being a Man United fan.
Yeah.
It just stuck with me.
Yeah.
Back to the Palace game. Obviously, they won 3-0. Eze scored the first goal. Did he assist? And he assisted the second, right?
Yeah, the game.
Generally speaking, where do we think his level is? As in, like, if he was to go to a top 4 club now, who do you think he's most suited to go to? And who would you give your blessing to as a fan?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he's a little bit. He could step up from a Palace for sure. I think like the Man Uniteds and the Arsenal might be a step maybe too far.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
You think getting better than Martinelli on the left?
Do you know what it is with Eze? I think he's a bit inconsistent. Like he's obviously got the ability for sure. Like he's dope on his day. Like he'll be the best player on the pitch. But I think my problem with Eze is he isn't as consistent as his ability should dictate. And I think that's what the problem is. And I think if he went to a team like Arsenal, I think you like him on days, but I think you'll get frustrated with him as
Trossard.
But that's like Martinelli.
Yeah,
right?
Trossard,
could that be like also like Zaha when he went to United? Or?
No, exactly like that. Exactly like that. And I said you've been having Joe. You've been having a debate on Eze versus Elise.
Yeah.
Who's a better footballer? Who would you prefer in the team? And I think I would actually think Elise. I think if you could remove one or the other out of the team, at Eze and Elise, I think Elise is the bigger miss for Palace than Eze.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so because Elise missed quite a few games last season.
Yeah.
And Eze was ever present. And of course,
Eze misses a lot. He's
he missed
last
season.
He's missed a lot this season, and Palace struggled without him.
Yeah,
and now that he's back,
Yeah.
So if he
Palace
playing
is
with
forming
like
up.
better players, the same way like Elise is playing at Bayern, there'll be less of reliance on him.
Yeah.
So he'll probably be less inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry,
I would have Eze at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would feel like we've dropped our standards. I think he was one of the players that I used to talk about in this summer transfer window. I was like, we could just bring him in because he can play behind the striker, he can play on the left. So he's that utility profile that Mikel Arteta loves, and he's just got that quality, man.
Yeah.
But would you have him as a starter or more of a squad player? Like when if you signed him?
Yeah, so for me, I'd probably have him as in our team now, he would have like he would definitely have an argument to start, but ideally he'd be a floor raiser. But who would? Is there anyone that you can say is a nailed-on starter in left wing in Europe now? Or even behind the striker, like outside of your obvious ones like your Mbappes and your Vinny's,
yeah.
You know, like everyone, or even Kvaratskhelia or whatnot. He was out of favour before he went to PSG, and now he looks.
No, I think that was beef though.
Yeah,
because he was trying to push that move for quite some time.
But Dre, what you're gonna say something?
Yeah. So Eze kind of, for me, operates more as a central player. So obviously he's right foot and he likes to come into the middle of the pitch a lot more. So that's why I would differentiate him from like a Martinelli or from a Olise, who's quite a wide guy who cuts in to shoot.
That's true.
So that's why I would be a bit hesitant if he went to Arsenal, because I don't know, like, how would Arteta play with that guy? Because most of your wide players don't really come in. I guess Trossard does.
Yeah, Trossard.
Yeah.
But,
I think you'll like Marseille to probably do it, but
so you think that left guy is supposed to come in to the middle?
Like, same like Saka, like you can come in, you can go down the line.
Yeah.
Whereas Martinelli, I don't know what he's doing, but Eze can do both, and he can go down the line, he can come in.
In that case,
even Ethan does it. Even his
Mm.
goal reminded me of Ethan goal, like, but just on the opposite side.
So in that case, Arsenal, like he's definitely off Flores, but I think he's a starting player for Arsenal.
I'm definitely. I mean, I wouldn't argue that too much.
Yeah.
You could argue the toss between him, Trossard, Martinelli, depending on what you like on those guys. A lot of people don't like Martinelli in the Arsenal fan base nowadays. All of a sudden, I'm still a Martinelli fan though. But I would definitely take Eze 100%. I think he would be here at United as well.
100%.
Absolutely. On his day, like he's dope. Unquestionably.
What do you mean on his day though, bro? Like
the weekend was his day.
Yeah, no, but Eze's been good since his return from injury. Like since he's gone back, because the first two games maybe he was a bit rusty, but since he's got into the flow of football, he's been playing well. And it's no surprise that Palace's form has improved since he's returned from injury.
Yeah, I've seen enough of Eze to like wonder, like he's not at his level. But as I said, on the weekend is at his level. Mateta is on his, like, just comparing to Mateta. Mateta's on his game more time than often than not. Particularly this season, towards the end of last season as well. And I think Eze hasn't been personally. I think that, but on his day,
you're being harsh, man. Even at the start of the season before injury, batted up Chelsea. He's had loads of games where he's been sick this season, man.
Yeah, and also but it's like you said, when they had Zaha before, they got Eze as well. I think when they have these kind of players, these players rise up to being almost like Palace's star men. So they kind of lift their game because people are kind of reliant on them. So like you said, when he kind of doesn't show up, it's more, I would say it's like more apparent. You can see it.
So then you're saying, so what is his level? If he was to go leave Palace this summer, where do you think would be most suited for him? Strive, you're saying Arsenal.
I think a really good place for him to be like
and he'll
bro, don't
be
say
one
it,
of the
man.
stuff. What?
Yeah.
Don't say what I think you're gonna say.
What were you going to say?
Don't say Spurs, please.
No.
Okay,
I was going to say Newcastle.
Nah, fuck off.
They'll love him out there, bro.
That's the same level for me, bro.
As Palace? Nah.
You think so? No. Newcastle above Palace.
No, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. It's not high enough for me.
So I think you should be playing Champions League.
Yeah, 100%.
You think?
Okay,
100%, bro.
So you're saying Arsenal. So what top four team? Yeah, but what, Villa? Because they might be Champions League. Newcastle might be Champions League. So it's not.
I think he do
Yeah,
well.
Villa will do well.
He do well at
Why
Chelsea
Villa,
as well.
not Newcastle? Because
You think?
Yeah,
I think
Newcastle
he will
will be
You just said the Champions League team.
yeah, Newcastle can be Champions League.
Yeah, so if it's the Champions League, then 100%. But I feel like he should. In 5 years' time, we should be watching Instagram reels of what he's doing in the Champions League.
Yeah,
the same way
100.
we're watching of Olise this season.
Yeah,
Villa as well. That would be a good place for him.
yeah.
I just don't know. Like I couldn't see him at Man City, for instance. Like I think it will get swallowed up like a Grealish.
Too much of a
instance.
system.
But it would be. I think it would be a good squad. It would be a good squad player.
What about Chelsea?
No.
Yeah, that's what Dre said. I don't think.
I think
With what they're doing at Chelsea, I don't think. No,
It's too unstable.
Yeah,
it's just
He needs stability as well.
If they weren't doing like that high turnover thing, then I'd say but because I don't think they value their players too much there, that's why it wouldn't be a good environment for him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's to say, on the weekend he was that version of Eze will get into anything.
Yeah.
Like he was moving brazy.
Speaking of another player that was playing on the left, but we're going to move on to the Preston 0, Villa 3. Rashford 2 goals. So that ends. I think that goal ended 14 games without a goal.
I think it was like a couple. The hours. When you're hearing hours, it's a long time as well.
I didn't hear hours.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's just like 200 hours.
That's
or
right.
something like that.
ChatGPT. How many hours is this ChatGPT?
Yeah.
No, they said it. The commentator said it still.
But moving away from one of your team to another one of your team, Villa. So they're now through to the semi-final. Rashford's your connection to United.
Yeah, Rashford, my guy, man. Rashford.
So, what do you think of his performance?
It was good. His form is definitely improving. A lot of people have been rubbishing him all season. Like I don't think it's warranted that he's been rubbish all season. Even for Man United, like earlier in the season, like obviously we weren't winning games, but he was being singled out, and I think he naturally gets singled out because of his wage and obviously your expectation that he's going to be the guy to deliver either a win or something special on the pitch. I think he gets critiqued a bit differently because of that. But he's improving. His Villa performances are definitely improving. It was interesting to see him play up front. I've seen that before, seen it for Man United so many times as well. Like I'm not personally seeing anything that I haven't seen from Rashford previously, but it seems like he's more.
Is that a bad thing or is that a good thing? Or is it just indifferent?
It's just for me, it's indifferent, but it's interesting to see people that have been rubbishing him all season based on the performance, these similar performances for Man United, I think. And he's obviously gone to Villa, and I think like the expectation or the critique is not as.
I didn't think he was bad for Man United.
That's not exactly it. That's my point. I think he's been at the same kind of level all season, but now he's obviously playing at Villa, where the expectation might be a little bit less. Like the scrutiny he's receiving is maybe a little bit less.
But
than
do you think it's because they're less, or just the mere fact that his performance might still be the same, but Villa are winning, whereas United were losing?
Yeah, absolutely. The winning is definitely a contributing factor,
and he's got better players around him at Villa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that contributes to the winning as well.
And I also think the people that were onto him there, they don't care about him anymore because you.
But if he was playing bad, they'll be caring.
Yeah, no, 100% because it just kind of furthers what they were saying. But I feel like at Man United, like Dre was saying, Eze is a certain level at that club. He was that at Man United, and when you're not performing, there's a magnifying glass on you. And now he's walked out of the magnifying glass. I don't think he's, like you said, Marley, I don't think he's doing any better than he was at Man United, but there's no focus on him right now.
On that, about what you said about his performances not being any different. Last week, Dre, man, you said he hasn't done enough to come off the watch list. I don't know, did you agree that he comes off the watch list, or is he
I think he came off before I was out about it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. He came off.
Okay.
I didn't even realise he was on there.
Yeah, Dre put in there.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. But I don't know if you saw much of him at the weekend. So I think what you're saying that he wasn't getting goals. So now that he's added 2 goals or whatever, do you look at him slightly differently, or are you still saying I need more?
Yeah, I still say I still need a little bit
more
from him.
That's the next question.
Just because in terms of the opposition he's playing against, obviously you'd expect him to play a bit more like freer. So he can do his thing. Like when I've seen him in that game, there's a lot of open space. Rashford loves open space. He loves running into those open spaces and showing what he can do with his pace.
I think you can't. I don't think you can hold it against someone for doing what they're supposed to do. I think against high or better opposition in Champions League and in the Prem, I feel like he's been competent when he's come off the pitch or come off the bench. Sorry, I feel like he's definitely been impactful, done his thing. He's contributed to assists. Like I disagreed that he was playing badly at United anyway, as Marley Mars also said. So he's kept his level somewhat consistent. And then against lower opposition, not being disrespectful to Preston, but it just is what it is. He's done what you would expect someone of his ilk to do. He's come on. He's got 2 goals. 1 penalty and was have an open play in it. Tap in or no tap in. He's still got that goal. So he's done what he's meant to do. So then, what else were you criticising him for now? Like what more do you?
No, I'd say like even at United, even though he'd be all right, it's almost like he wasn't as, like for his age and maturity as a player, I would say sometimes when he'd even be running down the wing, he could just, he just looked like he didn't have that control and finesse that you'd expect from a player of his stature. Yeah. Like running down the wing and then he doesn't know where the ball is and he's trying something and it's just crazy.
What about what he's doing at Villa though? Because obviously you mentioned United and I feel like you might be kind of still hanging on to whatever bias.
No, I think at Villa he's doing well, but I'm glad he's doing well. I think Marley Mar said before he thought he would do well there as well. But him doing well at Villa basically only is a win-win for what I want, which is for him to be out of Man United because that just ups his his price tag. It gets him potentially a better move away from Man United, which is...
Have you got better than him at Man United right now?
Not at the moment. No,
But
I wouldn't
he's
say
moving on from United though. That's
Yeah,
facts.
no, of course. But
Yeah.
I'm just interested as to why he's so adamant that he wants him out of United.
I
No,
think
but the
it's
thing
change
is,
the
remember,
scenery.
it was Rashford that wanted out at Man United. He says he wants to move on. He wants a new challenge. So
No, but you wanted him out as well.
No, I wanted him out as well. But him saying that, the writing was on the wall. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
said
yeah.
it before from the FA Cup final when we won it. He was crying. He
Mm.
probably was trying to bag a move then, and for whatever reason, he stayed.
We think crying was him pleading to get a move out of United.
No, he was just crying in terms of this was the end. He probably thought it was his
Yeah.
last game and
Yeah.
win a
Your
trophy.
last day of primary school.
Yeah,
But that's the thing though. A lot of people, like Simon Jordan's probably one of them, talks a lot about
Rashford.
Rashford and him saying that he wanted to leave. His performances weren't affected by that when we saw him. Like
No.
he was playing consistently the same throughout the season. He seemed pretty enthusiastic about the new manager and the training that he was doing as well. So
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because
To
he
begin
did that
with.
Instagram
put a-
post,
put a-
innit?
Wait, but
Person.
wasn't the new manager who said, "No, I'm not."
But I
feeling
think
this
it,
guy"?
I think it came from the top
Yeah,
down.
I think that was I genuinely.
You don't
it was
think
a
that's nothing to do with Amorim?
Nah,
okay, fair enough.
Nah,
Yeah.
He doesn't. I mean, obviously he's new, so we don't really know too much about him. But he doesn't strike me as someone that's just going to write a player off as important to the team as Rashford and stick with Garnacho. Like,
But hang on, but we can't act though, because we can't act like there isn't any history of Rashford not being disappointing at Man United, because obviously, like Strives
Yeah,
was
for
talking
sure.
about, right now he's playing well. XYZ. What more do you need to see? It's going to take a lot more for him to undo the opinions that people have of him when he was stinking at Man United, because there was a period when he was stinking at Man United.
But to Marley's point, it's whether he's been stinking, he was probably one of United's better players. So
Yeah.
if he was
No,
United,
not performance wise.
yeah,
This season, yeah,
under
for sure.
Ruben.
No, I'm saying this season, but
Yeah,
I'm
when
saying,
Ruben came, he
I'm
was
saying
United.
in terms of like, because Strives is saying, what more do you want to see?
Yeah,
So I'm saying like, you're gonna have to do a lot more.
I don't know, but I'm
at
saying
Villa to undo the stinky
yeah,
stinks.
that bit is different. But to Marley's point, where he's saying, I think it came from the top down, as in when they saying, okay, this couple has to go. In terms of like, as a manager, why would you want to get rid of someone that's performing well for you? Even though everyone else is playing bad, but
Okay,
you
yeah,
at least you're playing well. So all of a sudden, I don't fancy you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
And I also was framing my comments in the context of our watch list also.
Oh, okay,
Obviously,
yeah.
because obviously
Yeah, of course.
since it's been put on the watch list, and then when we were discussing it in the last episode, I feel like using that sample size, we've definitely seen an improvement. And then
I don't know if I voted him off, but I don't think I've seen enough for
Hang
me.
on, so was he after last week? Because there's four of us, right?
feel
Yeah, I
like-
think he was.
If you said no,
I think.
I know what I said. I
I
said
said
yes. I think you
I'd
made.
like to cast my vote.
Then I
think-
must have voted yes.
Yeah, you must have voted.
You wanted
Yeah, I
want him
was-
to come off.
You
Yeah,
might
absolutely. Yeah, so it would've come
have
off
just
anyway.
been you might just be doing your contrarian thing that you
No,
like.
no, no. You know,
Sometimes.
I don't think I was paying attention mentally, bro.
Yeah.
Because
This
like,
guy does not like.
yeah, bro. Like,
but if
maybe
West Indies
because
came off, then there's
Marley
only four of
wasn't
us.
here. Maybe because Marley weren't here, so I had no one to fight against. Right? But yeah, no. I don't believe I've seen no contrarian. This is straight up me.
What do you need to see? This is why I say the expectation on Rashford is probably higher than his actually ceiling can
And it should be, though.
deliver. Why though?
Because the hype that's been around him, has always been higher than it is. His remuneration has always been higher than what it should be, in my opinion, as well.
The
Because-
hype though.
Yeah, bro. Like, but this guy.
Is he a 350?
I don't want to be offensive.
£1,000.
I don't, but I also saw today that we were paying Brandon Williams, who had two starts for us, 65k a week. So when you put that into consideration, we already know that Man United, and we've been knowing that Man United pay over the odds for players that don't really deserve it. So 350 for him, it's a lot, but you consider that he's the somewhat marquee player at Manchester United, along with probably like Bruno, and then you think, all right, 350, like it's probably in line with the stupidity that they've done.
What's Bruno on?
Yeah.
What's Bruno on?
I think he's on 300 now, maybe.
So Rashford is on more than him.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's on more, yeah.
I think so.
Which makes sense because he's had a better point to negotiate from, whereas Bruno probably came in quite low.
True.
But I just haven't seen enough, because obviously, like, you on record, we've had our beefs about that, and I've still not seen him match what you've said about him, bro.
Yeah.
Do
you think he's matched Jota today?
this season?
I mean, all in.
Yeah, Jota's had a terrible season.
Yeah,
No,
he's
but
had a
all
bad
in,
season.
100% no.
No,
100%
definitely not. Definitely not
Yeah,
for that.
Jota's had a bad season.
all in.
It was worth a try.
Yeah.
They don't get all in.
No, 100%.
That's interesting.
No.
You still run the straight lines, bro.
What about you, Straz? Do you think who would you rather have at your club, Jota or Rashford?
In their primes.
No.
Okay.
Don't
What are you talking about right now?
I'm just saying that's the question. Who would you rather have in your team?
Okay.
Wow, that's a bit of a tough one, actually.
Assuming Jota doesn't have his injury record and they're both available to play.
Hold on.
No,
you added salt and pepper to this stuff.
Yeah.
So one's injury prone as it is.
No caveats.
Okay,
Just as is. Yeah.
As it is.
Yeah, it's tough because, jeez, on the spot. I think I'm going for. This is crazy. I think I may go for Rashford. You know.
Oh, because he's black.
No, you know what? I think it's just because I feel like I may just get the similar frustrations as that I do with my current strikers at Arsenal.
Yeah, and it is frustrating having Jota, so I'm not mad at that at all. But that doesn't vindicate you because
I'm just saying that's a personal victory for me today. Isn't it? Like I didn't come up.
Yeah, you got to leave it for something.
I'm happy with that.
So back to the game. So Rashford's performance means Villa won 3-0. They're now through to the semi-finals, of which they come against Palace. So yeah,
it's tricky still. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So, who would you like to win, and who do you think is actually going to win?
I think. That's a tough one. I think Villa will win, and that's just because of Emery in his cup competitions. But I would prefer Palace to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a little bit more of affinity to Palace just because they're local and it'll be good for them to get to a final again and potentially win it. But yeah, if the finalists are, let's just say, Man City, which probably will be, and obviously they're against London Forest, it's probably a good chance. I would back Villa to give Man City a harder game than obviously Palace. So yeah, it's tricky. It would be somewhat poetic if Emery gets to the final and wins the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no. So what say you, Strive? Who do you want to win the next round of Palace v Villa?
I'm indifferent, man. I'm totally indifferent. I don't mind whatsoever. I think maybe because Palace is a South London club, I'll maybe go with Palace.
Yeah.
And obviously that's where Ian Wright started before he.
So how would you feel about the narrative that it will create if Emery wins the FA Cup?
No, what I was going to say, I thought you was going to say with Palace, bro.
I'm going to be out of control.
Emery? No,
but Palace would be even worse, bro. Imagine they'll do like a parade in South.
No, that's good. Yeah. I'm talking about the narrative of Emery, Arsenal, and Arsenal fans.
I don't know if that's even a thing. Like, who's battling that?
Fans will come. A lot of people will come at Arsenal for. They're already coming at Arsenal now for.
Just give me the chairs. Just give me the chairs.
Just give me a reason.
So what? If Emery wins the FA Cup, somehow that's going to reflect on Arsenal. Yeah,
Arsenal and Arteta.
You lot are cooked, bro. That's insane. So this is what I mean when I say Arsenal fans and Arsenal as a club. We're just. Like you don't even need a reason because
not all fans, but there are a large number of fans that were absolutely smitten that Emery was fired,
bro. Because the football at Arsenal was just it was hard to watch, bro. It was an eyesore. Like you couldn't watch football as an Arsenal fan and say that I'm enjoying this. Like when you're we was getting some results together, even our run was majority draws and stuff. We had a crazy run of poor results. No, we were just happy to not be freaking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we were so in the mud. We were just happy to not be in the mud anymore. And then before you know it, you're in contention for top 4. Even though football was horrific, the results we were standing behind the fella. But then when we're 15th and stuff like that, and you can't see like the style of football.
Under Emery, I don't think Arsenal were 15th there.
14th then?
No. I think they were maybe like top 8.
Oh, top 8. And then it was Longbow. But when that all happens, you're disillusioned with the game, and you're thinking you can't see a style that's synonymous with the way that we like Arsenal to play. And then when he gets fired, we're happy because we just won our club.
You weren't immediately happy though, was you?
No, we're just happy.
And then the season after, you definitely wasn't happy.
No, I mean, we're immediately happy because we went on to win an FA Cup with Mikel Arteta. You get what I'm saying?
No, immediately. Oh, yeah.
That was immediate. So we're immediately happy. And then we're seeing a style that this guy's trying to implement. And we're seeing immediately this guy's trying to instill discipline. So those are the only reasons why Arsenal fans were happy. It wasn't like it weren't against Unai Emery kind of thing, because we also appreciate and acknowledge that he wasn't, like, our structure wasn't set up for him to flourish.
No, you're talking too much sense.
No,
everything you're saying is true, but
Take off at me.
So Emery wins the FA Cup. You mean to tell me
anything
coming
positive,
into
bro,
work,
I'm coming to attack you, bro.
This doesn't make sense.
Emery or Palace.
John Boy. John Boy is very adamant that Emery was not the guy. I personally think that
he wasn't there.
But he obviously that season when he left, he obviously won the FA Cup. That obviously wasn't him. It was Arteta calling it. But he got you guys to the Europa League final as well. What's Arteta done, bro?
Yeah,
but it's unfair to do the whole Arteta versus Emery based on that.
Maybe we shouldn't get into this.
Let's stay on topic. Because my thing is with Emery as well. He wasn't given a similar budget to what Arteta had. So who knows what he would have done?
He's a Europa Cup like specialist that we call him. That's one of his tags, one of his nicknames. He's playing against a Chelsea team that had already qualified for Champions League. Everybody almost was half celebrating an Arsenal victory. I remember taking Belmont to
That's silly.
To watch the game together because I'm expecting to celebrate with Belmont. And then we got smoked 4-1, bro. Like, these kind of things, you feel disillusioned as an Arsenal fan. You're gonna look back
even
at
though that's your first final since.
No, but
bro, like, is that the way to?
You guys are not being fair because you can understand why he strives to feel how he's feeling.
No, 100%.
But then when he gives you reason, you're like, that's still not enough. This is a cup specialist in the Europa. He gets to the final against a team that's already qualified for Champions League.
What season was that?
In his first season, but he's still a specialist.
But
listen to what he's saying.
No, everything he's saying is true.
Yeah.
But the context is that it's his first season, though.
Yeah, but he's still disillusioned about this guy who always gets the finals and wins it. He lost
not in his first season, though.
Irrelevant of first season, last season, he gets to the final. He got there.
Yeah.
And he loses horribly to a team that's already won what they need to do to get to Champions League. So you can see why teams are being disillusioned.
Just done their job, it doesn't make them any less of a team.
No, but
do you know what I mean?
That's one
thing. It was
thing.
a 4-1. I get it.
It's 4-1. Then he wanted to say that watching his team play was an eyesore. So Emery got sacked, and it wasn't because he was a bad manager. He just wasn't working out for Arsenal at the time.
Yeah, but
and Arteta's done something differently. So I think it's unfair to compare it.
I don't know why the fans are getting like. So why are the fans now got a target on them?
Because
not all the fans. Only the ones that said that Emery was not it.
He was right to be sacked.
I don't know because obviously Arteta has benefited from the time because it's in the same way ETH benefited from the time that all the other managers.
That's
you see, like when and I mean, obviously he's gone now, so you know we can talk candidly. Yeah, let's be honest about things. Like Erik ten Hag, I wanted that guy to stay in the job, like because you guys would have probably got relegated this season, or maybe like next season.
No, Bruno would have had something to say about that.
Well, but all I'm saying is, as much as I believe, give him his 3 years, whatnot, because Dennis Strada kept saying you have to give it Arteta. So I was like, well, let's give him the 3 years. But for me, I wanted him to have as long as he needed to destroy your team.
Yeah,
100%.
Right? So my thing is, when you guys are campaigning like this for Unai Emery at Arsenal, because no one's saying that Emery's a dead manager, but you guys seem to really want him at Arsenal. I'm just wondering.
No. I promise you it's not that. Even though
are you trying to get
I've got history.
No.
Even though I've got previous, it's not that because my thing is that I respect him as a manager and I feel like him getting sacked, I don't think he should have ever gone to PSG. But I feel like Arsenal was the good time. It was a great time for him to go to Arsenal. But again, he just didn't benefit from the same time that Arteta
and that's fair,
was
right?
given. And that's fair.
You don't have to compare two of the things and say, okay, Arteta's this, Emery that. It's just how it works
I agree. That's how it works sometimes. But you're going to get these...
But there's no needs for it, though.
No, but that's the way life is, bro.
If Emery wins the FA Cup, fair play to him. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't see how me or any of my fans should be getting any...
It'll be interesting.
God will provide a way for it.
It'll be interesting and it'll be vindicated, bro. Hold tight, Emery, man.
Let's round out the rest of the FA Cup with... Bournemouth 1, Man City 2. So come to you, Joey. Obviously, you felt that Bournemouth were gonna
I was sad,
put up a good game. How did you feel?
Ready. I was typing my draft messages to everybody. Bournemouth were winning 1-0, man. But respect to Pep, man. He came out and battered them with academy players, man. So respect. But Bournemouth were just dead, man. In the second half, man. They had no answers, man. But again, I think the injury and the fatigue starting to show in the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that's the combination? But did they have much internationals?
No, I don't think it's international. I think the fact that they've just lost so many players, man. I think Kirkes wasn't available, so they couldn't do their kind of like their gung-ho attack that they do when they after counter.
He's key for them as well.
Yeah.
So notable thing is that Haaland scored his 30th goal of the season, so that equals Van Nistelrooy's 21-year record.
Wow.
So
and now he's injured.
Yeah. No, but is he definitely injured or?
Yeah, apparently.
How is he?
Came out of the boot. And
Yeah. Now
I think he's going to miss. Yeah, he's going to miss most of the season. I saw it popped up on Flash Score.
It's crazy.
I think they were talking about when the grass ends and it's just like hard grit or AstroTurf. They're saying that they need to start looking into that as well, bro. Because
what do you mean?
So like when players are running off the pitch and then there's like hard concrete and hard grit and stuff. Quite a few players have been injured from that.
Okay, is that why Harry got injured?
Yeah.
Right. And so is he out for the rest of the season or most of the season?
No, the majority, yeah.
Okay, so obviously that win meant that they got a semi-final against Nottingham Forest. It was a ball draw. They won 4-3 on penalties. But this is the third time they've won on penalties in the FA Cup. So do you think they can do it a fourth time in a row against Man City? Because that's probably the only way they're going to get through by... Yeah. But,
yeah.
Nottingham Forest, they're probably... Against Man City, they're going to do a low block. Try and do a counter, but...
They do it well. They do it really well though.
Yeah,
like with Elanga and Cho, like they do it well enough to beat him, because that's what Ollie used to do when he used to come against Pep, like, and he used to execute it well. Ollie has obviously got a great record against Pep, so I think that they can actually win in normal time or extra time.
Yeah. But as a betting man, what would you do?
As a betting man, I'll do Nottingham Forest to win or draw, double chance.
Without Haaland as well, man, they got to fancy their chances. They got
True.
to.
How many times did Nottingham Forest beat them this season? I know they beat them.
They beat them once. I don't know if they've done it twice.
The last time they beat him, that's exactly how they beat him, and they beat them convincingly as well. Because obviously Edson made a mistake, but they out. I think they kind of outplayed them. And they let Man City do their thing in front of them, and I was quite impressed with that, man. So they could do that again. But what I will say, when you play a team a certain amount of times, when it comes to the ultimate one, the crunch time.
Yeah.
It never comes out. Obviously, Liverpool fell victim to that against Newcastle.
That's true.
So what we're saying for that round, is it majority everyone saying Nottingham Forest or Man City?
I think Man City. I think Man City is going to do everything they can to at least come away with a trophy to salvage this season.
They got the experience of it. I think that's what might carry them over a little bit.
What I will say, I think they might put this one on ice and just use it for the World Club Cup, because there's a lot of money attached to that one.
No, but they're in it. They're in it, so they might as well go all out to win it, innit?
With the FA Cup.
Yeah, this is
No, I'm saying, but they've won it.
Imagine winning an FA Cup and then the World Club Cup. Then all of a sudden, their season is...
No, but even if they win World
they've had a good season again.
Even though that it's not that, for me, it's not really competitive, there's still that bonus of money, and they'll be the inaugurated, I don't know what the word is, but they'll be the first winners of it as well, man. So no one can chat shit to them.
Who's in that Club World Cup?
I don't know.
Chelsea is the only big team.
Chelsea,
Real Madrid are in it as well.
Yeah, and the team from Brazil is in it as well, right?
Well, why Chelsea?
I don't know.
You say why Chelsea?
I don't think there's any...
I think it's just the teams that applied for it.
Yeah. Like you didn't get it because you won anything. It's literally,
But is that the competition where they have to play their full strength team, or whereas they get penalised?
Something like that. Something like that still.
That's a new rule.
Because Inter Miami are in it, but they didn't win anything. And I think the team that won the league.
So you can apply to get in that competition and you get that prize money.
But obviously it's top clubs. Palace can't apply for it, and they'll be like,
I'm surprised every top club didn't apply for it. That doesn't make no sense.
I think quite a few English teams were opposed to it. And
without knowing the prize money, surely.
Must have been, But apparently,
what is the prize money?
It's a lot of money.
172 million. I think.
And it more than Champions League?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's more than Champions League.
It's basically a summer transfer budget, bruv. Let's just say that, bruv. If Man City win that,
they don't need to win that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but apparently, again, they got like 65% of their revenue is their wage bill. So I don't know why other teams didn't beg FIFA to be in it, bro.
That's true.
So let's do this quickly. So semi-finals is Palace versus Villa. Who we're saying is going to majority winners call?
I'm going to say Villa because I think Palace have done the double over them, right?
I'm not sure.
They beat them 4-0.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The last one in the Premier.
Well, Palace beat Villa 4-0.
Yeah.
So why are you going for Villa then?
Because I feel like Palace have a better record against them in the Prem. And the way Liverpool got done, I think, Della, you've mentioned this as well. You know, when you said you didn't want Man City to play Arsenal.
Yeah,
I feel like Villa will just be able to take it over the line. And I don't think Palace will be able to beat Man City in the finals.
Yeah. So we're saying a Villa Man City final, and if
I think
final,
Villa will win,
wins?
but I'm hoping Palace do.
Yeah.
Because they're my dark horses.
Yeah.
So
If Man City don't get to the final, I want Palace to go through.
Okay, let's do this again. Villa versus Palace. What we say? You don't know the Man City.
What am I saying with my heart? Or am I saying with my actual who I think we're doing?
If forget your heart, let's say we're betting
say
on
Palace,
Palace.
Cheesy.
No, but he said, yeah, I know, but he said not with my heart.
No, this is real money. We're betting like real money.
Okay, but I think Villa will go through that.
Villa, and then Man City, Nottingham Forest. You're still saying Forest or Man City?
No, Man City.
And then we get to the final now. Who's winning that?
Villa.
See,
yeah.
This is not. We're not playing with our heart. We're playing with like heart and cash.
Yeah, no, Villa.
you think so?
Ooh.
You think? No, I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying-
they've stunk all season, man. And if Haaland's out, yeah, I'd say Villa.
Probably
What
be
about
that for the
Marmoush?
final,
You're not liking what Marmoush does?
No, that goal was dead, man.
No, but it's not.
He
about
went
just
under the keeper. He dived late, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm just talk about what he just brings City, like the alternative.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
he's up
It's
there.
good. Essentials can bring that same kind of flavour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so let's be quick on this. So you're saying Villa. You're
Just taking
saying
I'm saying City.
City. Jerry.
To win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, City.
Yeah, I'll say City. Just
So is this Money Mile betting with his heart, not his head?
I'm going Villa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was the FA Cup round-up. So let's move to the Premier League. As I mentioned, there's games this midweek and then there's games at the weekend. So let's start off with your Merseyside derby, Joey. Let's be real, like, the league's practically wrapped up in it. So win, lose or draw, no one really gives a shit. But let's talk about the most important thing.
No, you think if they lose, then no one cares.
I think if they lose,
bro.
I think
No,
that's
okay, no.
crazy.
So what I meant to say is, what I meant to say in the grand scheme of things, whether it doesn't matter. I think the league is wrapped up. Yeah, the league's wrapped up.
Strives with
Okay, Strives. Okay, if they lose, you'll be
Strives will
hopeful.
tell you, bro. I've been telling you.
Yeah,
League's
Strives
done
is
time
hopeful.
ago, bro.
Okay. But if they
But
lose,
you always have a
No,
caveat.
you were saying-
You say,
don't mess
Yeah,
up.
of
So
course.
that's them. Don't mess it up.
mess
oh,
up.
that's just friendly advice.
Yeah, of course, bro. Like, just don't,
Right.
because I'm just it's when
The
I'm saying
pressure's
don't
on.
when I'm saying don't mess up. Yeah, it's because if you lot f this up, like there's no
It'll be
coming
the
back
same
from
as
this.
Arsenal.
No, it won't.
It'll be worse.
It won't.
No,
There will be no
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
back from this one.
Arsenal haven't done the worst.
No, this will be worse.
This
man.
will be worse.
Crazy.
Bro.
You can't
Your
afford
gap-
to mess
I
this
think
up.
yeah. This
Haven't
will,
Arsenal
With
fucked
the
a
gap-
And the
big
mere
gap
fact
then?
that Arsenal
No, I
don't
don't
have a
think
full
so,
strength
man.
team.
Not this. Not
With the injuries, there's no way.
But
And
there's-
then with your players potentially leaving as well, all that saga. Bro, you guys are having freaking breakdowns before anything's happening.
I'm having a breakdown now.
Okay, what I meant to say is that we're not here to discuss again today.
Yeah.
We want to talk about Trent.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Okay.
So, what's your thought? I know on record, I know you said a few things that you're not too, you're okay with it, but on record, on wax, say your feelings again about him leaving. Now it's more or less confirmed.
Yeah, no, I don't want him to leave. I've never wanted him to leave. I
Mhm.
think he's a quality player. I was watching, just scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I just saw like all of his passes, and I was thinking, shit.
What do you think about that pass against Barcelona? The corner.
Oh man, you mean what, the one that Robertson took that quick?
Yeah, did you
No,
see
no,
that?
no,
They
no,
said
no.
that. That's too
Have
funny,
you
bro.
seen it when
Yeah,
they replaced Robertson?
That problem with Endo as well.
Then they said, then somebody was saying, nah, he wasn't even that quick.
I know that's
What? We're talking about Origi's goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
saying-
bro,
they-
these
they-
Liverpool
they-
fans don't like
They've been trying to
Robertson.
write. They've been trying to write out Trent out of the history. AI.
But that's what I was laughing, bro. That was
Bro,
the
No,
best.
it's funny. Obviously,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
like the passing. Like, I was just watching highlights of his passing, and I don't think we're ever going to be able to replace that man. So obviously, you're scared on that part, but then you're trying to be optimistic and think, okay, cool. Well, what's Slot got up his sleeve? I don't really know much about him outside of this season. Can he build a team? All the successes that he's had off of other people's teams. So you got Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. What can you do? Regards to Trent, yeah, I think it is time to leave. And then when I look back at it, when you let your contract run down like this, and you don't go to the team or you don't come out and say I want to stay at this team, you're sending a message that you
Whose
want to
job
leave.
is it to? Is it his job to go to the team, or is it the team's job to come to his agent? Like,
So I had
where
this
do you put the
conversation-
onus? Yeah.
Yeah, I had this convo with my brother, and I'm like, okay, cool. If it's me and I'm contracting,
Mm.
whose job is it? Is it them to come to me, or is it me to go to them? It's whoever
Needs it most.
Sorry?
Whoever needs it the most.
Yeah, whoever
True.
provides the most quality to the other person So if I know I'm getting paid more than the work I'm doing, I'm going to them.
Yeah.
And if I know I'm providing a service to them, then I'm going there.
So then let's frame it in a football discussion. Obviously, less pertinent to Liverpool and Trent situation. Who's providing more quality?
So it's very difficult because we know that going forward, he's brilliant. But we know that defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired.
Is that a narrative that we're running away with a little bit? Because in one of my bankers, bro, like, if I'm doing bet builders, I've always got Trent to get a tackle or two in. Like, he's always nail on.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing though.
Yeah, but I mean,
because I'll back him to get one tackle.
There's a lot of defenders that you'd be surprised. A lot of defenders don't make tackles, bro.
Oh yeah.
But one or two, I would expect someone like. So for instance, for example, like Casado, like the shortest odd you get on him is like making 4 tackles a game,
and Ryan Christie as well. Bro.
Yeah, so I would expect Trent to be able to get. If you're getting good odds for getting 1 tackle, that means. Bruv,
No. I say
no.
You don't.
Is right.
You don't get that many good odds. I'm just saying. Sometimes you can't even select one. The minimum is 2 odds because 1 tackle is such a banker. Yeah, and. Check other defenders that you might think competent defenders as well.
Yeah,
it's not like Trent's got better. Yeah, Trent's defensive stats basically. I know stats are like what's that guy? Savage Dan said like a bikini. It can make you look better. Yeah. I can't remember exactly how it goes. Bruv, like. But his defensive stats aren't as bad.
No, they're not. In the grand scheme of the Premier League and right backs, his tackling stats and some of his defensive stats, they're not bad at all. But for me, it's the defensive awareness is something that if I'm a centre back and I'm playing with a right back like that, it's jarring me. It's draining my concentration, bro, because I'm constantly thinking, where's this guy? Is he in the right position? Obviously, you've got other people, Konate, who kind of does half of his job for him.
Yeah.
But in terms of like when he's up against a Doku, when he's up against these guys, like forget about the one-on-ones because you know that he's not going to win the ball once. And that, we've come to accept that. So obviously that's why I say like when it comes to the defending, he's not Conor Bradley in a defensive one-on-one and his positioning and all of that kind of stuff.
How many Dokus or even Martinellis are there that's going to like rip him a new one?
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, that's why we're doing okay in the league because they're not there all the time. But in cups and in big games, that's where you come up against these guys.
And that's where you like get a moment where he gets like just switches off. Is that a thing?
No, it's 100% a thing because his focus a lot of the time is on attacking. And so you see him sometimes he's further up the pitch than Mo Salah is.
I feel like you're trying to. I don't know. I feel like you're trying to. I just feel like you're trying to make this sound like it's not as bad as it maybe is.
What do you mean?
Because I think he's like that asset that you probably should have kept more than all of them.
Oh no, 100% because in terms of his value, in terms of his age, 100% he's the biggest asset.
And he's your vice captain as well. And like you said, in terms of his forward play, what he gives you, the passes he sprays, his vision, his IQ, you're probably not going to get it's very hard to find that again in the market.
Yeah, but
like I think it's easier.
You can't replace it.
You can just find a right back. It doesn't have to be Trent.
I mean, that's exactly. They've got Conor Bradley. And
but Conor Bradley is good, but he's not just as.
He's not just as, in my opinion.
No, what I'm saying is in like, okay, it's nice that we're getting our assists from a right back, but hey, we don't need it. We can get it from someone in the midfield.
So that's why I said I'm looking forward to see what Arne Slot can do in the transfer window. This is a big transfer window for us.
I hear you lot are looking at Frimpong.
Yeah, so Frimpong for me would be that's a completely different profile of right back. That's more of a wing back.
He's pretty much a winger, bro.
A wing back, exactly. So we're still gonna be losing the passing ability and the chance creation for even from like the way he just switches the ball over to the other side and it opens up the game of play.
So how valuable is that to you?
It's massive.
I know host.
It's massive. It's massive because it's pivotal to our style of play. But that's my point is that I'm looking forward to see what Arne Slot can do. Because right now you're using Klopp's style of play.
But back to what you were saying in terms of like when you're the contractor, it's like who is offering the most quality, who's offering the most value. I remember the question I was asking is, okay, if you frame it in
who needs to go to who?
Yeah, who needs to go to who?
Yeah. So to that question, I think Liverpool need to go to Trent. And I think Liverpool went to Trent, but it became apparent that he was going to leave. I think maybe even 2 years ago when he turned down the contract. Because why are you turning the contract down? Is it because you want more money? Okay, we'll give you more money. You're turning that down. Why are you turning that down? because you want to maybe get more money. You want to get a signing on fee.
I think the villains in all this are Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's
why? How?
Because they're getting away with all these free signings.
No.
And I know they're tapping up guys,
bro, because Trent has been a loyal servant to the club. The definition.
No one's disputing that.
Yeah.
No, Sam, he's been a loyal servant to the club. So if now this person's been loyal, they're receiving their loyalty bonus for seeing out 2 contracts, and they're a free agent, why are Real Madrid to blame?
No, but what you're saying, in terms of being tapped up at that, what they did with Mbappe and maybe a few people that they got for free, is saying, don't sign this contract. We're going to come for you in 2 years' time and we're going to give you the bag.
So why can't Liverpool say that?
So trustworthy as well? Like, why? If I'm Trent, how do you even trust that though? Like,
no, because
they changed their mind.
Because Trent can just sign with Liverpool.
It's Real Madrid.
As Joe said, it was a stay with Liverpool.
You just stay with Liverpool. But my thing is that they're not doing anything wrong. I think every player should run their contract down if they're
not doing anything wrong technically, but it's
I'm saying even morally,
it's nasty practice, man.
No, even morally or practice wise, they're not doing anything wrong. I think every team should be looking at players whose contracts are running down and say, don't sign a contract. And in fact, you don't even need to sign. You don't even need to say that to them. Every player should be running down their contract if they're decent with the money they're getting now. Because why would you sign a contract with the team you're with when you can have more options if you're good enough to have those options?
Wouldn't it make more sense though if Liverpool went to him and just say, okay, he wants more money, they give him more money, but at the same time they go, we're not going to put an astronomical amount of money on you as a transfer fee. Yeah. Let's just say we slap 40 million as your get out clause. But then you're making money, he's happy, Real Madrid 40 million drop in the ocean. Do you see what I mean?
Why is that Real Madrid's business or Trent's business?
It's not
Real Madrid's business.
It's like they're using their prestige and they're understanding that every single player wants to play
What's
here
going on?
to take it.
Let me give you an analogy. Let me give you an analogy. Yeah, you go out. Yeah, you're 6'3" or you're 6'2". You've got like certain things that attract girls. You're now taking a piss because there's these other guys that don't have none of the things you have. Are you taking the piss if you just go out there and be yourself and you draw girls?
No, but
you're just being. You know what I'm saying? Real Madrid are taking the piss because they're guys that enjoy their girls.
Let me give you another analogy. It's like a high profile celebrity here who has all the money in the world, but he doesn't. There's no need to him. He gets free stuff. But then the average Joe has to pay for the stuff. I think Real Madrid are taking advantage of their celebrity, bruv. They should be paying a fee, bruv.
Liverpool do the same thing. Man United do the same thing. Arsenal do the same thing.
We can't do the same thing. Not to that
because you lot are shit now. That's why.
Exactly. So Liverpool.
Okay,
that's what they're taking advantage.
Be good and you can go and do it, bro. Be good and you can go and do it.
Let's stay on track.
The thing is, be good and then you can go and do that.
But the thing is, are we saying that this is going to be more of the norm, though?
It's been the norm. With Real Madrid.
No.
Rudiger, Mbappe.
No.
I'm sure there's one more.
You lot are being unfair. It's been the norm for loads of teams, bro. Loads of teams have just been good. I think it's just that Real Madrid get the best.
They do it as in a domino effect, and the amount of players that they're getting, quality of players that they're getting for free as well. It's like, hey, but as you said, if you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. But ain't tricking if you got it, boy.
But with Trent and obviously Liverpool, they did approach him to what you guys are saying about if you're the contractor who approaches who.
Yeah.
Liverpool, of course, did approach him. He said no.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, maybe he wanted to get the bag or whatever. But the rumours are is that I think he's going to be on a 5-year contract on $240 a week.
Yeah.
Could Liverpool been able to match that?
100%.
I haven't heard Liverpool offered him more than that.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know. I can't remember what my
But I don't think they. I heard he's getting 30 M on a signing off fee potentially.
Yeah.
And if that's the case,
how they're doing it.
That's Liverpool's money.
Yeah, literally. That's my whole point.
Wait, but you have to understand that this guy's an academy graduate, and he's given Liverpool a lot of stuff. I don't understand what.
If that's true, then that's the
No, but what he's saying is factual.
Yeah, and it's factual. And then, but if Liverpool wanted him, then you slap on a 30 million signing on fee. If that's the case. But if that's not the case, then that means Liverpool didn't want him that much.
Liverpool had to have been comfortable with, because you have to do the trade-off. You've got to do a cost-benefit
analysis. You're not going to give someone 30 million. You're not going to give your existing player a 30 million signing on.
Why not, bro?
Business is business.
But I wouldn't do it. But I'm saying if you want this guy to be here,
there's one, and then there's like, okay, this is.
I think it's Liverpool that flopped though, man.
I think it's harsh. I think
it's Liverpool that flopped.
Sorry, just quick. Strives, if Saka was leaving now, Real Madrid are offering him a 28 million signing on fee, and Saka saying to Arsenal, if you give me 30, I'm staying. Are you expecting Arsenal to do it?
You cheeky bastard. That's what I'll say, bro. You cheeky bastard.
As in right now?
Yeah, right now.
right this moment, now I would
in his prime
probably
or wherever you think his
give
prime
him
is.
30 M's. I mean,
signing on fee plus his weekly salary.
Plus his weekly salary.
if in my realistic answer will be no, I'm not expecting Arsenal to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
If I was at Arsenal, would I do it?
Yeah, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
no, I'm saying would you expect Arsenal to do the right? Is that the right thing? Do you think that they should do to basically compete with Real Madrid to keep him?
I think Arsenal should do everything in their power to try and compete with it. But it's worth noting though, I think it's a little bit different because Saka's 21, 22?
Trent is 26.
Yeah, so basically Saka is like one contract behind Trent. But if Saka signs another contract extension with Arsenal, hopefully we win like what Trent's gone on to win.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he didn't, I think after that, it's fair game. I'd love him to commit his future to Arsenal.
Yeah.
But if he went to Real Madrid or, whoever is flying higher than Arsenal, as long as it's not United or,
Yeah.
But my thing is, I think Saka would sign for Arsenal.
No, you can never say that. All these players are mercenaries.
Yeah,
but that's not the point.
Trent.
That's not, so with Trent, I think I'm there, but I also respect that Liverpool don't deem him worthwhile of that signing.
I think it's not that they don't deem him. It's the same way they've got a model as well. So if you not give him a 30-minute signing on fee, you've got two other players who are on contract. Let's give them all 30-minute signing on fee. That's not going to work.
But if you have Mbappe or Ronaldo or Messi, you break it. If you have
but Trent is not Mbappe or Ronaldo or Messi.
My thing is, if you value that person to be 30 million worthwhile of keeping, you're going to pay it. They just don't value him as that. And I agree with that.
I'm not sure I totally do because I think that what you potentially lose in Trent might be a lot more damaging than a lot of Liverpool fans are aware of, and maybe the ones that we are seeing, the ones that are actually like bred and born in Liverpool. Not saying that they're like more valid than you as a fan or the ones that are in London, but I'm just saying maybe we're seeing more crash outs because maybe. I don't know. Maybe because they got their ear close to the ground. Maybe
of course.
Maybe
I don't
they
think they miss them that much,
I think
no. There's a crash out amongst the Scouse Liverpool fans.
I don't think Liverpool are gonna. Obviously, it's gonna be a miss, but I think they'll be able to crack on, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have trust.
But then, how long does it take to crack on? A year and a half, 2 years? No one's bigger than the club. That's what I'm not saying. He's bigger than the club.
I'm just saying. What level do you put Trent in terms of actual match winning and game day presence? Where'd you rank Trent in the Liverpool team?
How am I ranking it amongst his peers or just
is he like as important like a Gabriel or Saliba in Liverpool team?
Or Van Dijk or Alisson or Salah?
I would put him. It's a funny one, because although I would say I would probably put him below Van Dijk in terms of I'd put him below Van Dijk. I feel like you can sooner get a like for like replacement for Van Dijk than you can for Trent.
You're
Van
crazy.
Dijk.
You're crazy, bro.
VVD.
No,
he's one of the best centre backs.
I understand how he's saying it because he's like very unique in his assist. You don't need that.
Exactly. You need VVD.
No, you don't need that from right.
I get you, but
you can have Trent. Okay, so say if you have Trent, but you don't have VVD in the team.
If you don't have...
If you have Trent, who defensively is putting up the grades, but attacking is good, but you don't have VVD, where who said, you know what, don't worry, Trent.
You
messed up, I'll clean up. I say you now replace VVD with who?
That's never been VVD anyway. It's probably a Konate.
No, but it contributes.
So
I get you. That hole is bigger to replace than the Trent.
VVD, this is why I said it's a weird one, because I do think VVD is probably higher ranked in terms of the importance to Liverpool. Whatnot. But then I guess I'm considering everything in terms of time, and VVD's like, what, 30,
No, forget about that. I'm just talking about match day performance. Match day performance only.
I just think, though, that with a Trent, remember, I don't think he's as bad defensively as everyone says he is. And we all know that what he gives you going forward is pretty like top notch, elite. Dare I say?
That's why
it is elite. 100%.
I just feel you're not going to get that profile.
You don't need that profile.
You might not need it, but that's the uniqueness, and that's what's earned Liverpool the successes that it's earned them. You don't get that Barcelona turnaround without that moment.
So
of
are
Trent
you saying
magic.
that Klopp doesn't get any of his success without Trent?
I say without a Trent, it looks.
No, I think that's. I think Klopp has shoehorned Trent into the team, and I think if he didn't have Trent, because Klopp has been successful without Trent, Klopp would have figured out another way And I think it's more of a good manager. I think you're giving way more credit to Trent than you're giving to the management.
The system. Because
the system, exactly.
Also with the system, you think of like Robinson. Robinson also had a crazy amount of assists as well.
Yeah.
I'll be saying Robinson.
They were going toe-to-toe that season.
Yeah, Robinson's like would you rate him as like a world-class irreplaceable kind of player? I don't think you would, right?
No. I wouldn't,
so-
but I'm
He's
maybe
fallen
because
off a bit
I'm
there.
seeing a season where I've seen a drop off that was unimaginable for Robert.
Yeah. No, I saw it coming.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
mean,
say in Stride's defense is that Trent is more than just assists.
So what is it?
He progresses the game. Like I said, his range of
course.
passing is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
So
It's
obviously,
up there.
like if you're under pressure and you've got a counter attack from a
Having
corner,
him at
he
Real
opens
Madrid.
up the game differently.
He's gonna
It's gonna be crazy.
Having
Having
that Real Madrid is gonna be
on
perfect.
your point, Strav, instead of when you're saying obviously the importance of Trent, you're a fan of Gareth Southgate. England got to how many finals without Trent being in that team? So there are capable right backs out there that can replace Trent as a right back. Maybe not his qualities, but they can offer something tangible to their team. And we can say, okay, we don't need to rely on our right back to progress the pool, to assist. We can give that to another one of the CMs.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because that's whose job it should be.
yeah, Trent was,
But
as Joe said, Trent, amazing as he is, but he was shoehorned into the team, but it worked. But now you take him out, okay, you just get a bog standard right back, not bog standard, but a decent right back can go into that Liverpool team and they'll still do it.
And then guess what? We focus more on the left wing, or we focus more on the CM or the
you
striker.
gotta play
because
different.
we ain't got a good striker.
So
right
you
now.
get a bog standard right
Not bog standard,
right back.
no,
Yeah, or just a right back.
good
Yes,
right back.
a competent right back.
top four
Yeah,
right
so
back,
you get
yeah.
a competent right back. Your defense doesn't necessarily change that much. You maybe get marginally better.
Yeah.
What you lose going forward is astronomical, in my opinion.
Okay, so what do we do now?
But I'm just framing it in the terms of when I said that. Although I'd probably say it's a weird one because I'm saying VVD is probably more impactful because obviously he's like one of the best centre backs in Premier League era. Like,
Yeah,
you know, the 33 years of the Prem. VVD, you put him in these conversations now whilst he's still playing. So it's massive. It's a massive feat to attach to a man like VVD. Yeah, but what I am saying is, and not to offend the viewers or the listeners, and obviously the man them sitting here.
It's too late. They've been offended.
Yeah. I'm just saying that if VVD was injured for a while or whatnot, or you sold him or whatnot, I feel like you might find another centre back that can close to, because look, how's Arsenal stumbled on Gabriel and Saliba? You get what I mean? Like,
VVD's time going to come to an
time.
end. No,
I'm just saying the centre
will
back
come to an end.
we've got VDV, even though it's just a pace merchant, so to speak. But you've got these guys that
Strauss, remember the season where we didn't have VVD and we had Trent? And we could see in real time what happens when we don't have VVD and we have Trent.
Good point.
Yeah.
So
But it's also the proof in the pudding. I was going to say that because Trent's out now, you're running to the end of the season to see if what you're saying is true. If he gives you like everything, like from at the back and going forward, because obviously they still got how many games in the Premier?
but we don't have a right back at this moment in time, unless
Wait,
Conor Bradley. He's been injured for a while, but he could be back. But sorry, just on top in the Trent topic, I think it's very stupid. Like all of these fans that have just been doing all of these things. Like banter aside, because I'm always here for the banter. But like, like to saying like he's disloyal. I think who was it on Rory Jennings?
He's a Chelsea fan. This guy, you're just. Hey, I said him. I said Joey.
Don't bring up personal business.
Like, well, the views I received, and the thing is, I was actually on Joey's side. Like, I was sending like to say, yo, get a load of this guy. This guy's talking so much crap. This guy, look at you, you're such a fool. Do you think this guy even supports Liverpool? I said, oh, wait, yo, bro, I didn't say any of this. All like you know that emoji, where he's blowing it like. That's all. That's the only emoji.
No, do you know what?
Joey told me a new one, bro.
In my defense, he sent it like literally 20 minutes after B-Man who sent it to me as well. Yeah, but I'm thinking, hang on, like this is 5 a.m. You guys are working together to bring me down, innit? So, but with Trent, like they're saying he's disloyal. They're saying X, Y, and Z. You should have gotten a club some money in the transfer fee. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. Like, but it's like you can just hear when people are speaking that they have no idea of money management or like
it's
who's responsible for
it's
what.
just emotions.
Yeah,
but like
because even Cuff that was on the podcast, he's trying to be measured, and that's why he's making me laugh. He's trying to be measured, and he knows really. Like, you can't really begrudge Trent. He's been a loyal servant and he's got a great opportunity. But at the same time, he will turn around and say, he even commented on one of the posts and saying that, yeah, he's not happy with the way Trent went about it entirely. And my question is, like, what could he have done? Let me
tell you what they want. They want Trent to come out and say, I'm leaving Liverpool in two seasons before his contract's done. And then, even though I want to stay here and see out my contract, they want him to come out and say it there. So then now he's isolated, so they can know, okay, this is a guy we need to hate. They didn't want to feel like maybe he's gonna stay.
Yeah.
But that's stupid, bro. Because if you do that, you're gonna bring down the value of your transfer anyway. So just let the man see out his contract.
And it can be disruptive to play style, because when Klopp announced his departure, my question was, why now? Like, why couldn't you just? You know what I mean? Why couldn't you keep that behind closed doors and just announce it after the season?
He thought that it was going to galvanize everybody for his last season.
Maybe, and it nearly worked. You know what I mean? Maybe, but I mean, I think it's just emotion. Like, and I get it. Like, I'm not even rubbishing the Liverpool fans. I get it.
I'll rubbish them for that, man. That's rubbish behaviour, man.
Bro, he's won everything. Like, he's come up through your academy since he was 8 or however old he was. He's won everything with the club. Like, you just have an attachment. You just want the guy to stay. I get it, but I just don't understand for me, if he's not said anything. Even now, he's still not said anything.
And they're probably going to boo him. They're probably going to boo him.
You know what's crazy as well? Like,
he's done a celebration where he goes, So they're trying to say that,
was that to his own fans?
No, that was
for all the rumors,
the pundits. Yeah.
So they're saying that he led them on with that celebration. Like, you made us think that it was all hearsay, but look at you, you've gone.
Yeah, one, you can't want something you can't want something for somebody that they don't want.
Yeah.
And two, bro, like, if the guy doesn't want it, you shouldn't want anybody at your club that does not want to be at your club anymore. Anyone, when Rashford said, I'm out, everybody should want Rashford at the club. Now that you're hearing he's signing for Real Madrid.
I didn't say I want out. Though.
New challenge.
He said a new challenge.
Bro, what does a new challenge mean?
A new challenge would be nice, isn't it?
Joey, say your point. They're going to wrap up.
Yeah. So if Trent said, I want to leave, he hasn't said anything, bro. So like, I don't understand, bro. Like, exactly, bro. He could still stay, bro.
But he could.
Yeah, they might do a Steven Gerrard to him.
Yeah.
Is he damned if he does and damned if he doesn't?
Of course.
That's almost like.
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
if he comes out and says, I want to.
No,
don't say nothing.
If he stays, bro, they'll forget about it, bro.
No, I'm saying if he wanted to go. So saying he's come out and said, I'm leaving. Do you know what I mean?
They wouldn't like
he's not
that.
saying
exactly.
That's all.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You don't have to please anyone about yourself.
Just go Real Madrid, man. Enjoy Spain. Man.
Enjoy the weather, bruv. What's the beef,
bro? Anywhere.
I'll be out, bruv.
Bro, that fire must say.
Let's move on. Let's move away from that. So I'm not really going to talk about the game. It's just, we're moving on to Arsenal. Obviously, midweek they got Fulham. Then they got Everton away at the weekend. But like when this episode drops, that's later on tonight. Arsenal Fulham's Tuesday. Tuesday. But before we talk on the pitch, off the pitch, Arsenal have got their new sporting director. What's his name again?
Berta.
I wanted to say his first name. Andre Berta. So, what's your thoughts on this appointment?
Yeah, man. I've got everything to look forward to, I suppose. I like to embrace every new addition to the club with some sort of open heart where possible. I would like to say more times than not. That is that's my take on things with Arsenal. And with him, I've read on some of his acquisitions and some of the work he's done. And I think it's his profile and his accomplishments is befitting of where Arsenal want to be and the vision we have for our club. We know that he's worked with difficult profiles and managers, or what we've been led to believe, in Diego Simeone's or whatnot. And if Mikel Arteta is this massive, larger-than-life personality that has such a domineering say on, what's going on behind the scenes of the football pitch, then we'll need somebody as strong as Berta to say, yo, Ruba, relax, G. I've got this part. We work in tandem, don't get me wrong, we work together, but I've got this. You might need someone like that. And it just seems like he's ticking all the boxes from everything you've read, everything you've heard. So I'm looking forward to it. He's, the press on him's been positive so far. The fans seem to be taking to him, so there's not like a toxic reaction to it, and you know that all helps once your stakeholders, everything's happy. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm just hoping, and anything is got to be better than what we had this season, because you know how I felt about our transfer business this season.
This season, or that's better than Edu?
I wasn't an Edu hater. No, I thought Edu could have done some stuff better. I thought he did some stuff really good. I was like, Rome's not going to be built in a day. Arsenal have typically done business poorly for a very, very, very long time. And I felt like it's unreasonable and unrealistic to just expect Edu to just turn around and then boom, we're getting these crazy sell figures for our players, like when we're selling. Because Arsenal, we've typically always sold a bit poorly. Attracting players is always going to be a bit difficult because we wasn't in the Champions League for a while. So we're building up. And then when we did start building, the players that we brought in, it convinced me once upon a time last season that we were going to win the league. You heard the way I was slanging bets across the table to any and everyone. So at some point, I was a fan of Edu, but I can also acknowledge some of the stuff that made me think, what the hell? Yeah. So man, I can only just look forward to Berta. Like Berta, I've probably more accomplished than Edu. Is that fair to say?
I always wonder, like, what is his actual? Like, does he come with his own like Rolodex of his own players that he's identified with a team, or is that the players that he's bought across his years? Is that the club that he's been at? Is that their research? Like, or
I think it's a collaboration.
Does that make sense?
It's a collaboration, because I listened to a podcast on the way here, and they were talking about the appointment, and they said basically the question was like, what is a Berta type of player? And then the journalist responded back. He said it's difficult to tell because he was obviously building a team for Simeone.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Okay.
It's obviously working in tandem with.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Arteta. This is your style. Now get players. I'm going to get players that fit your style, based obviously using my network and. He was a scout at Atletico before he became the.
That makes sense.
Oh, so is there a risk that he could go to Arsenal and he might not be able to interpret Arteta's style of football?
It might be a risk, but I think he's well versed in football. He was a scout, so it's just literally Simeone, he likes this type of profile. I'm gonna use my skill set to match to that. Arteta, you like this profile, okay? I'm gonna use my skill set to match with someone. Okay, you want someone?
Yeah, they obviously must work in tandem with them.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know what I mean? So
no, I just always wonder if they have their own pool of players that they just pull from, or if they bring their own team. Per se. So is Berta just coming by himself, or is he?
No, he's coming by his
by
network.
He's coming with his network.
Yeah, a worldwide network.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he's coming through the door by himself.
Yeah.
But that network, it's not exclusive to him.
No, of course not.
Like, so other people will have access to that.
But
I was going to say, is he going to be mainly judged on who he brings in the summer for the striker?
Maybe not this summer, because I think what the press are saying, or interview saying, is that this summer, I think Arsenal already had things in the pipeline.
Right, yeah.
So what his job will be to just get it over the line. And obviously maybe add his 2 pence. Apparently Arsenal now in for Jokeres because he likes him. But that's what his remit will be, is like, get us over the line. Then I think you'll probably see a true Berta transfer window maybe next summer, once he's had his feet under the table.
He's probably going to make a big statement signing as well. I feel like they always do that when they first come. And obviously we know Arsenal got money. So you can either blow your budget on someone that's not it, or
well, we know, like, if you are going to do that, the safest place to do that is up top, because you can't go wrong in terms of, like, even if it goes wrong on the pitch, you can't go wrong in terms of all your other stakeholders, because everybody says, you know, like, you've pretty much recruited competently in every other department of the pitch, but up top is probably where we've neglected a little bit. So if you do your big one there and it doesn't work out for you, it's going to be more of a case of, is you're not going to be, I don't feel like you're going to get criticised for doing your big one up top. It's probably just going to be, it would probably more so, I don't even know, who would get who probably will get a bit of a blame. Did you scout
What if it went wrong?
Yeah, if it went wrong.
No, this is gonna be an explosion if it goes wrong because you've waited so long.
But who would it go wrong? Would it be on Berta or
no? Not Berta. Maybe not Berta because he's just fresh in.
Yeah, but it would be
director. Yeah, I think
unless it was someone completely different to the names that we've seen linked. Because I've seen recently that we're now linked with Gyökeres again.
Yeah.
Obviously, Isak we've been linked with. Obviously, Seska. Apparently, we kind of agreed something in January. So if he went completely away from that, then
you'll be able to say it's him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know for sure. Like, even if they go left, it's not for sure that it's Berta's decision making or his network that they've got this player from. Because like, a lot of the stuff, like you said, most of the negotiations happen now. This is when Real Madrid is whispering sweet nothings into people's ears, bro. So
I think I was going to say, I think the position now, sporting director, is probably one of the hardest because of before they could just splash the cash on like certain big players, where you can do that now. But then that limits you to almost like one player because you're splashing up
and everyone,
your budget.
Everyone can splash cash as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is what will differentiate sporting directors from the top to the bottom of the league.
I think Arsenal's structure has improved a hell of a lot from
Sanlehi days.
Yeah, like it's really improved, and I just think this is just a step in the right direction. It's a positive step. Obviously, we're only in one competition at the moment. We'll see how that goes when we face up against Real Madrid. But it's looking like we're not going to... we may be trophyless again this season. That's what the bookmakers would probably have you believe. And we've now got a massive...
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
I didn't want to laugh. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Laugh.
Sorry, serious moment. Sorry.
Get it all out, man, because we'll talk about that next week. But like if we this next year's season is the year that like if you put me to the side, if you talk to loads of Arsenal fans, supporters, or even just football lovers, next season no one is going to give grace to Arsenal anymore. Arteta's grace has run out. Everyone's grace is run out. Players, footballers, fans, everything. And this summer is going to be like crazy pivotal in terms of how Arsenal rebuild and take advantage of the situation they find themselves in, their money, their PSR, whatever financial constraints or advantages they have. Liverpool in the scenario that they're in, Manchester City in the scenario they're in, all the other clubs that are probably building up, call Manchester United in the scenario that they're in because you guys have still got a new manager. And we're probably in a position of advantage somewhat because even though you might have expected us to have done better this season, we are still like second, having had a crazy injury crisis. So one would expect that with your players coming back, adding to that. No, it's just real. Adding to that, I think it's really positive.
Why was it crazy? Because Saka was out.
It's crazy because not just Saka's out, but Saka's out, Odegaard's been out, Gabriel Jesus we've just lost. Marie.
You can't lose what you never had.
Bruv.
Yeah. But, let's not get too sidetracked.
Sorry. But it's not crazy.
It's been crazy. It's been insane. Like we've seen teams with crazy injury records and they're like 14th.
It's
14th. Where are you? 14th? For you 13th?
It's crazy. It's crazy because it's crazy. It's crazy because of the stature of player that got injured, but it's not crazy. Crazy is like having like 7, 8
just
injuries.
One player. We're not just Saka FC, innit?
You are.
Yeah. I mean, he's a massive part of our club, but
we've lost. There's nothing wrong with that.
We've lost loads of other players as well. But what I'm saying though is even with all of that though, I think it's quite befitting of us to still be challenging. And I mean, I use that word loosely because that's not really been much of a challenge to Liverpool unless they mess up. But to be in a scenario, where I'm looking forward to watching Real Madrid versus Arsenal, bro, like that's amazing with all those injuries, bro.
I think that's my point. It's like you say, all those injuries. Like if it was like Saka, Odegaard, Saliba,
but the front line was good. But
I would understand, but do you know what I mean? It's 1 or 2, bro. Like
Declan Rice had a broken toe.
No, that was like 2 games. That was only 2 games.
No, hang on. Let's down that because I'm
only
thinking
2 games.
Gabriel Jesus.
I've been trying to think what my question was and why we're talking about this. But
what's
what's it got to do with?
Oh, because you were talking about Berto, isn't it?
Yes. So what were you saying overall?
Oh, yeah, because I was just saying that with all of that, with all of what's happened this season, the context with his acquisition, whatnot, I feel like we've got loads like Arsenal fans I've got loads to look forward to. With him coming in there with the summer, with the rebuild that potentially we may have to do, with our players coming back. I think this could really be a great time for the club, for him, for everyone to really put Arsenal in a position to win some serious major honours, because what I was saying, Della, is there's no more grace now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's do it, like, not just with Arsenal fans. Everybody's going to be saying Arsenal have to do something.
Yeah. It's a great opportunity, but it's crazy pressure, bro.
But I think it's pressure that we can handle, because
you have to. You don't have a choice, bro.
No, but that's good. We're easy with that, because we've had that pressure now.
Yeah.
Like, you man are telling me that I'm about to get abused if Aston Villa's in the final. That's just we're under that pressure.
No,
now.
but you've already lost. Do you know what I mean? So it's like pressure.
Already lost. We're playing
in the FA Cup, like, and all that kind of.
We haven't lost yet, because
let's get back on track. So that's off the pitch. Let's quickly talk about on the pitch. I'm just mindful of time. On the pitch, obviously, the return of Saka. Arteta's come out and said that he's good
Midweek.
to go. Yeah, he's available. He's available.
He says he's back, man.
He's good to go. So, how would you manage the return?
I'll give him 20, 25 minutes against Fulham. I'll just see what he's at. Maybe 30 minutes. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't start him at all. I'd ease him back in. Yep. Yes, I know that he's been eager to play. We know what Bukayo Saka's personality is like. We know he's eager to play football, whatnot. But in my opinion, I wasn't expecting to see the guy until next season. I'd hate for him to be rushed back and then we lose him for longer, because he's very pivotal and we need him a lot. And if we're not realistically gonna win anything this season, then why risk him now? But as you man all know, I think a 50-50. I think it's 50-50 Arsenal versus Real Madrid, especially with Bukayo Saka. So if we do have that Bukayo Saka back, I get why he's we're introducing him now, and who knows.
So do you give him enough minutes between tomorrow and the weekend, so he can start against Real Madrid? Or
of course
you're looking for match sharpness.
Of course, bro. If you're coming back, you're only rushing back for that fixture. Otherwise, what are you doing?
It's true.
So I'm managing you so that you're good, and I'm even the way you're training as well. Like, you're training so that if you're gonna give me your last, do your big one, you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing that at freaking Real Madrid.
But isn't it just better to just let him come back in normal time?
No, I think he was apparently. Sorry, I think he was. If needs must or needs be, so he was good to go from last week. So I think based on the timing, he's on track. So I don't think he's being rushed.
Okay,
but to Travis' point, you've still got something to play for. So if he's available for that one game,
and a crucial game,
because some people feel like he's being rushed in.
Yeah, narratives, man. Narratives is just to build the story, man. Build a story about. Everyone's now seeing that he's back. I've had a couple of Tech Fresh in particular saying no excuses. I'm like, bro, I don't know what I gave you one in the first place, bro.
Well, you can't say no excuses when you're going up against Real Madrid. You haven't got like.
I don't.
No excuses, man. No excuses.
Calling things how it is doesn't necessarily mean it's an excuse.
It does, bro, man. Otherwise, you just stay silent.
No, but then let's not talk.
If you get caught cheating, anything you say is an excuse, bro. You just have to say, yeah, bro, that's it. I did
Black men don't cheat, by the way.
Never.
So
I don't know why Joey man laughs so loud. This guy.
You're easing him slowly. He won't start the next 2 games, but obviously ready to come up against Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's how I would. What about yourself? What do you think you'd do?
Yes, similar to what you said. I think there's no point in him starting. Just give him some minutes to get match fitness or match sharp, and then ready for Real Madrid.
So I was gonna say, if you get to the Real Madrid game, both of you, and Saka is on the bench, would you have any regrets? If for whatever reason he still doesn't.
No regrets, because I wasn't. Once upon a time I was looking at this fixture without him. Full stop. So just to see him in the squad is still a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, for
sure.
So
I wouldn't say regrets now.
Yeah. Cool. So that's Arsenal. Next up, United. You got Nottingham Forest at home.
I mean, the league for us is.
Yeah, no, I'm not really talking about the league team for some of this.
Oh, so
I'm just easing here. You got Nottingham Forest at home, then you got the big one. You got the Manchester Derby. Again, I know the league is out. Who cares about the league in it? But it's a Manchester Derby. Like, how do you not feel going into that?
Indifferent. I mean, we obviously want to have a good performance because, like, naturally, we want to build on the kind of somewhat upturning form since the last few games.
2 wins.
2 wins, yeah. So we want to get a bit of form going into Real Sociedad. So I mean, we want to have a good performance, but
Real Sociedad, you played them already. Isn't it Leon?
Sorry, Leon.
Yeah,
Leon. Yeah, so we want to get a bit of form going into that. But in terms of like the league, I mean, we just want to. It's this bragging rights for us a minute. Like getting in the top half of the table, we'll be good, but we're not really. It's not really bothered. I mean, which is.
I mean,
crazy
Nottingham Forest played how many minutes for the FA Cup? So
yeah,
I'm thinking they might be a bit tired for that game. Hopefully, work in our favour.
But to your point, you've got nothing to play for in the league. It's
but you can't be stinking up them games and then going into the Europa. You want to be
of course,
at least showing up to a respectable level and then going into the Europa League like even if you're not winning on a high that you go, at least our football's all right.
Yeah. How many points are you guys off of the pack chasing 4th spot?
Yeah, so fourth. Yeah, fourth ain't happening.
No, you know,
they're not close.
Where's Villa?
No, we're not that far. We're not that far away, but it's like there's so many teams battling for 4th that we ain't getting.
No, but I'm saying what position?
I think Villa probably.
And you're like
9th.
Villa are 9th for 45. We are 13th with 37 points. So it's not.
So you're not that far off that pack.
Mathematically not impossible.
It's not impossible.
There's so many teams that would have to have a wobbly. Like it's just not going to happen, man. To get there.
With United just
I'm sure you
praying
could
hope.
win enough games to get Europe, though.
But then the other teams will still be winning.
Yeah,
not necessarily.
But they're more likely to win more games than United.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't argue with that, but
So
obviously there's not really much to say about that game. But quickly, let's touch on Chelsea Spurs again. Really and truly,
is that Wednesday?
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, really and truly.
Chelsea Spurs Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, midweek, innit? I don't know. Yeah, so really and truly, as I said, Liverpool's wrapped this up in it, so the league's not really entertaining apart from if you're going for top 4, relegation or whatever. But obviously, it's still.
You're just.
You're starting to feel like he's jinxing you a little bit.
Yeah,
the pressure.
But obviously,
unnecessary curse, bro.
obviously, in previous seasons, this would probably been a game worthy of something, innit? But really and truly, Chelsea are pushing for Europe and Spurs are just playing for pride. Similar to United.
Well, I think Andrew's playing for his
future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, let's not drag this out a bit, innit? So let's just do our back pages. Unless you guys have anything to say in particular related to those 2 games I just mentioned.
No.
No?
I just wanted to ask Stella, how was the Newcastle parade?
Well, you saw me, man. I was posting up on that shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I was there in spirit. I was there in spirit, baby. But really, that's what the cup's all about, isn't it? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Teams like Newcastle, it means more to them. United won it last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liverpool won it.
Liverpool won it. Okay, Liverpool won it last season.
Exactly.
United won it the year before. But in terms of what it meant to you guys,
we didn't do
it was just a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Liverpool, Newcastle's on the parade where it looked like every man was out.
It's like
I wish I was there. I would have been in top popping up.
Yeah, hey. Anyway, it's stupid that people are criticising it.
What, the cup?
Yeah, no, criticising that they did a parade.
People don't like people.
But one thing I'll say though, it did feel weird to see a parade in this early in the season because usually the teams that win it, they either don't do a parade.
Yeah,
or they'll
exactly.
do it.
So that's why that's something it means more because we're tired of these top 4, top 6 teams winning it because you don't give fans what they truly want. You know what I'm saying? Or neutrals. Let Newcastle enjoy.
I think it was Martin Keown was saying that Lascelles was saying in the interview that bro, he's never even thought about playing in Wembley, bro, or something like that. So some players, I never even thought of the fact that some players play their career and don't even ever get to touch a cup final, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why I think it's good that these cups, I think last week you were saying they might be strapping the. They should keep it for moments like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, coming from a place where I've seen my club have such a drought that we had a parade for when we finally broke that drought with the FA Cup. And I was there. I attended it. No shame in my game. I loved it.
During COVID as well?
No, this wasn't the COVID one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one was probably around 2013 when we won the cup round then. I remember Max came with me. She was probably like 1 or 2. Yeah, so she was a baby like them times. And yeah, man, I think, bro, like Della said, bro, like the cups just winning trophies and just winning cups. So like it means something to fans. And if you're a club that don't get to experience it a lot, man, it's beautiful to behold, man.
If Arsenal had a parade for the Charity Shield in South London, would you go?
No, because we win that, man.
Man's in South London as well. He's making accessible.
You wouldn't go?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if it was like mad close to me kind of thing, yeah, I'll put my head through it, see what's popping. Maybe on the way, maybe on my way to work.
Cool. Let's do the back pages in it. So, listeners, this is where we shine light on players, managers, clubs, entities that's doing well. It doesn't have to be football. It can be anything outside of the world of football. So, Stripes, start with you first.
Yeah, I got to give it to Belmont Athletic again, man. Yeah, honestly, man. Marley Marl, he came and went to watch the game, and I said to him, "Yo, don't go, man. I don't go, man. Don't do it." He went against my better advices.
What do you mean, don't go?
I said, "Don't go and watch the team."
I've seen Belmont at the worst ever, bruv. Impossible, bruv. There's no, it couldn't get worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a founding member, I was like, "You don't want to see that, right? Not right now." Just And he went and he sent me the footage. I'm not even going to tell you what the scoreline was. But I just know you probably, even if I gave you 3 guesses, you probably wouldn't guess it.
But I'm confused. Did you guys win?
It's difficult to do scorelines in FIFA, bro.
8-1.
It's difficult to do them.
But I'm confused. The back page is meant to be good. Did they win 8-1?
Yeah, no, but I'm.
They've gone from that.
So that's why this back page is, because when I'm saying I'm giving it to Belmont Athletic again, second, because 2 wins on the trot, 1-4-1 on the weekend, man. Great win, man. Big win there. So yeah, man. Big up Belmont Athletic. League, man. Not much to play for in the league. Just play for survival. Again, it's not something I'm used to with Belmont Athletic. But yeah, man, it's great, man. So hey, big up all the boys at Belmont, man.
Joey?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this to. I was gonna give it to Pep, but I'm gonna give it to Nico O'Reilly. He just came on and played good football, and I'm always here for academy graduates coming up and impressing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna give it to Pep because obviously, like, just seeing how excited he was to get to a seventh semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, like, obviously, that there's clubs that are struggling to motivate their players into competing for a Carabao Cup final, and then seeing how excited he got, man. So that was good to see.
Dre, man?
Gonna give it to the old boy Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He beat Galatasaray's 28-game unbeaten run.
He's been there for that long?
No, like I'm saying, there were 28 games unbeaten. Galatasaray.
So what did he broke it? Oh, he broke it.
Yeah, he broke it. Yeah. So and that was their first defeat of the season as well.
Yeah, they haven't beaten them in time. Years, I think. So
yeah, well done to him, man.
Ollie just doing Ollie things, man.
Ollie's at the wall.
It's a shame. He was.
So you miss him.
I'm just saying, man, we treated him wrong, man, in hindsight, man.
At least you're consistent, because that's how you feel about Arsenal and Unai.
Yeah, we treated him wrong in hindsight. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick Mbappe. He's having a good first season at Real Madrid. Fun enough, he's going a little bit under the radar. Actually, he's got 33 goals this season. Matched Cristiano Ronaldo's first season, and he's still got 12 games to go. So
wow,
he's doing his thing, and he's showing that it wasn't just a case of him just being in the French league. In goals in the Farmers League, he's doing this.
Perfect timing.
It's true. It's true. It's getting under the radar, because one would have had thought that it wasn't going too great for him.
Yeah,
I swear there was more press.
It started off bad.
Yeah, there was way more press when it was like bad.
Bad, yeah.
That's the media for you, though.
He silenced a lot of people, I guess. Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
You, Dilla?
I will give my back pages to Liam Rossignol, who's currently managing. Can't say the name properly. Strasbourg. In France. So they are currently, I think, 6th place, and they are in the European positions.
Sick.
And again, a young black manager, and he seems relatively young as well. So hopefully they will get Europe. I think they are probably 4 points away from Champions League spot. So hold tight him. Yeah. So right, listeners, we are out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Continue to like, share, subscribe. We'll be back next week.